so this snake plant I've actually had for years, and it is still in its original container. I know, bad houseplant mom. So here was the container, just kind of shoved in, and I don't even know what's in the bottom of this. So I'm going to clean out the container, and then we are going to give this some new life.
So I actually like snake plants. I didn't for a long time, but I have to tell you, they are the easiest house plant, I think, around. They can handle low light, brighter light, not watered. They're just really easy to take care of. So we're gonna give this one some new juice to carry it on for hopefully many more years.
This container is a little tricky to plant in, so I'm just really making sure I've got enough soil in here because I'm not going to be replanting this guy again for quite a while. But I love this container. It has been in here a long time, and it's not really ready for a bigger one. So these are, I find, super slow growing. I've had this guy in the shade. I've had it in sunlight. So versatile, and it just adds, you know, a touch of something green and pretty in a space. All right, now I've got some damaged leaves over here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that guy out. And this one, just cut off that end a little bit.
Well, I hope this plant is nice and happy now in its new home with fresh soil. And now we're going to start working on number 2. I have 2 peperomias that I need to get replanted. So this one has done phenomenal. It started as just a tiny little baby plant. I've had it in indirect sun in my kitchen, but it's time for an upgrade. I also have this really a tiny small cutting that has grown, but it just hasn't done great where it is. So I'm going to add it to this so that it's got a little bit of irrigation and the 2 can grow together in this larger pot. So I'm just doing the same thing. Now this is another container. This one I got at HomeGoods. I think it was about $16. It does have a drainage hole, and I just love the blue and white. It kind of goes with my theme. I place these containers in my dining room window, so I do like them to match a little bit, or at least coordinate. So this container is going to be really nice, and I think these plants are going to be so happy with more space, fresh soil. I'm also going to give them a little dose of the fungus gnat prevention. I haven't had any issues with either of these plants, but you never know. It's always good while you're working on them to add those preventative measures. So let's wrap this one up, and then the third houseplant today we're going to work on is quite a mess, so stay tuned for that one.
So next on the list today is this very, very sad houseplant. This got moved during the holidays, and it did not get watered, and it is just on its last leg. But I do think that maybe some of it might be salvageable. So we are going to give it a shot. So what's interesting with this type of, it's kind of like a snake plant, the roots are a little different. So I'm hoping that I can pull it apart and maybe repot some of this. Okay, So here's a big piece. And oh, you can see how sad. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. It is still green. And I'm just going to give the whole thing a little bit of a shape up. And then we're going to pot it up in this container. So you can see how dry it's just rough, but these are so hardy. Now, this plant, I absolutely love these. Don't ask me the name, but this has been great. So I think it will go back in. It's got enough roots and it's doing good. And then this one looks pretty sad. And I don't love these vining, but here's a little one. I think I'll stick that one in as well. So we're going to switch up planters and let's get started. So I'm going to use this planter that has a bumblebee on it. I think also it's a good size for these. I love these small bags of potting mix from 𝐂𝐿𝐻 because they're great for indoors when you don't want to use a huge bag. So let me go get a second or third bag for today and I'll be right back. And I am going to give the soil just a little wetness because, and my plant, it is so dry. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little advantage. We'll just mix that up. A little advantage as we go. It'll also help me kind of pack the soil in around it. Okay, so we'll start with this one. See if we can get it down in there. All the roots, you can see how sad this is, but I think it will straighten up. We'll get it in the sun. We're going to get it some good water. And before I add more, I'm going to go ahead and water it again. This is called housekeeping urgent care. So we're definitely giving some urgent care to these today. All right, this guy's not looking too bad. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this one over here. And hopefully this will grow. I have one of these that's larger. I am not a houseplant expert on names and types and all of those, but I do love them and I like to have them in the house, but I like them to be easy. And when life gets busy, sometimes things get in the way. All right, so we've got that one, and then I'm going to see if this one will continue to root. So we'll stick it over on this side. And let's add some dirt around it. I haven't seen any disease or gnats on these, this one, but I will check. I'm going to keep monitoring this guy. I'm hoping he perks up and flies right. We'll see, but we'll give it some time and kind of see what happens. All right, I think that was my last kind of emergency room refresh today, but what I'm going to do next, and I'm going to go ahead and do it to this plant before I wash my hands, is I am going to add the systemic houseplant treatment, especially to this one. So you just shake it on, which is great. It just prevents anything any larva that's in there. And again, I'm going to pick up some rocks and I'll be adding that to these also. All right, you guys, I'm going to pause here and I'll come back. We will add some systemic treatment to all of them, and then I'll show you where they end up in the house.
Okay, so the first container, the snake plant, is here in our front living room area. I know it's going to do great here. It gets filtered sunlight. It's been in this space before. I love the container, and I just love a pop of green in this space, especially right now with kind of fall and winter. I just think it really brightens up the living room area. Now, the second one we did is here on my dining room window ledge, and it has been in a window like this before. On this side, it gets the side of our house light, very filtered, and it's going to do great. Now, our urgent care plant that needs recovery is up in my office. I'll be able to monitor it, and it is in the window. We'll see how that one does. I'll keep you posted. Thanks so much for watching. Please take a minute to click like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.